You ever heard this quote? It says, everyone has a plan until he gets punched in the face. I was searching who stated this, and it seems that Mike Tyson, once a reporter asked him, was he worried about Evander Holyfield or, the match? He said they have a plan to fight you, whatever. So his answer was, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. It's actually true, Everyone has a concrete plan of action, confidence, the feeling of invincibility, invulnerability, until life gives them a punch on their face and knocks them down. I'll give you a couple of incidents, examples. I'll give you top 5. Not top 5, just 5. Given that I speak to, clients and people, no particular order. This female, she was pretty well-to-do on social media. Had a good following, really good following. She had brands that wanted to work with her. And this is before COVID. And obviously she got many people who wanted to partner with her. And the best part was many people who were in love with her. Eventually she ended up getting married to a really successful big guy. And the big guy, apparently being possessive, he told her he wanted her to stop the social media, thing, because he was jealous. And because she's beautiful, great body, and he wanted her to focus on him only. So she said, okay, true love, She was hesitant, but, he is filthy rich, very rich. And she's having a comfortable life. Why complicate? So fine, she agreed. So life went on. And somewhere down the line, the marriage didn't work out. So now, when someone is in love with you, they will give you romantic talk and ready to do anything for you. He was ready to bring the sun, the sun, the moon and stars, everything at her feet. That much she told me that he loved her. But like anything else, if you do anything in excess, you get bored of it. So he got bored of her. And obviously she ended up having a kid. So now her figure was not as impeccably perfect as before. And like they say, over time you get used to a person. So one thing led to another, and he was focused on his business life, and eventually they had to agree for a divorce. He being a decent guy, he didn't put her on the streets. He gave her a sizable chunk to manage her life. I'm not too sure about the kids' details. Okay. So how did I come to know about this? She got in touch with me after this had happened because she wanted to once again restart her brand online. However, sadly, because of inactivity, she lost followers, she lost people, and lo and behold, she was making a comeback. But now what happened was she realized that the landscape had changed. She realized that it was not like before, and she was not getting the traction or the followers or comments or response, because obviously the algorithm changes and people change, and so things are not working out and brands are not signing up big amounts like before. So that's why she got in touch with me. And Well, the problem was obvious. She was living in the past. Her past success, she believed, would translate to future successes. See, when you're successful, and then over a period of time, you say goodbye to whatever you're good at, and you start another venture or whatever. And then if you go back, don't expect that success to follow you, It's not going to work out. And as time passes by, as we get older, as age catches up, as people's preferences change, as fads change, as competition increases, even the algorithm online, everything changes. You can't, So I did give her a strategy, but I've not been in touch with her since. Last I checked is she was trying in e-commerce and, selling stuff, but it was not like before, because obviously her husband had given her a sizable chunk of money. But you can make out she's struggling. That was one example. Another second example, the second one is, I remember this guy, he worked for this company, I don't know if you would remember, Toys R Us. Yeah. Those days, it was a very well-to-do brand. So he was working at a very senior position there. And he was not my client, but he was my friend. And whichever brand he worked for, he ended up expanding the brand, making it a success, making money. So eventually, he got a demand in the market. His name was, people are like talking about him. And then he decided at some point, okay, why should I work for someone else? I'll be independent and I will start consulting people. When he got in touch with me that time, like I told you, he was not my client, but he did ask for my opinion. I have this tendency where I always look at the negative thing first. This has been my habit since my young days, being a DJ, MC. Even when I was a MC for weddings and all that, I'd always give the worst case scenario. What if your parents come late? What if the priest gets drunk who's giving the speech? What if the sound system fails? What if the buffet is not up to the mark? What if electricity doesn't work? I give them worst case scenarios. And so some people are like, why are you being so negative, man? I said, we need to prepare for all this. So with this guy, I just asked him this. Okay, now you're working for a brand, and you have been working for brands throughout your life. You have been making them successful. Maybe you should continue that way. Maybe you'll be recognized more as a guy who can make brands work when you're working as an employee. But if you take up your own consultancy, maybe it'll not work. But then again, if someone wants to do something, you can't stop them. His logic was all these years of his life, right from the time his early 20s, whichever company he joined, he not only made that project a success, he was given a promotion and then competitors would bid for him. In fact, you will not believe he even got a $500,000 joining bonus with one company. So he was really good, good at what he did. So I told him that time, I told him, see, people don't know your name. You think people know your name. People know the name of the brand. Like right now, Toys R Us, they don't know your name. They associate your name to this brand. This is what has kept you afloat. Because when people are dealing, they deal with global brands. Who's the guy that made the brand? You're saying if brands were coming to you, that would have been different. Not you working as an employee. But I guess he had his own things. He opened up a training consulting agency. Initially, good number of clients, doing well. It has been a couple of years. But today, it's no longer there. I don't know where is he. His website is not working. Training agency is not there. He's not even on social media. I know he's alive. That much I'm pretty sure. Last I checked with one person, common friend, said, yeah, he is doing okay, but don't have his details. I don't know why. He dropped off the radar. But given the fact that his website is not there, the company website is no longer working, I'm pretty sure that he closed down the agency. So, like I tell people, see, working for Starbucks makes you a good coffee connoisseur or manager. But running a coffee shop is totally different. Just because you're an employee at Starbucks doesn't mean you'll be great at running a coffee shop business. Anyway, this was the second one. Third one is, the classic cryptocurrencies. This young man, I gave this example to my group. He was into cryptos right from the time he was in high school. And I think when crypto was booming, he invested in multiple, number of coins. And he was doing well. And then he reached the point where he had to do his college, but he convinced his parents that the 4 years, Ajish, my baby. So he convinced his parents that the money savings that they had for his college education, they had saved money for his college education. He convinced them for literally 8 months, I think, more than that, to put it into this cryptocurrencies. He showed them how it was growing and his investment portfolio. So finally the parents agreed. They told him, see, this is your life. The savings are for you. Do you really want to risk it? And he even refused to go to college because he told them, this is what I want to do, the future. And lo and behold, he gave examples of people who invested in Bitcoin and made millions. And he must have sold them the dream that you'll retire, I'll take care of you. All that good. After he got the lump sum money, well, now he can take lump sum risks, right? This is the mistake that happens. Small risks, small rewards, Big risks, big reward. But you have to reverse the equation. Big reward, and there's also big risk. Unfortunately, his story is not a happy ending because he got into some coin which there was a promising future or something like that. Don't have much idea about that. But he lost everything. Means not everything to zero. He lost, I think, nearly 70% or something, and this coin turned out to be worthless. He just has now 30% of that. Now to grow that 30% to 100% and from 100% to make it a profit, not going to be easy. He got in touch with me when it was at his 30%, I think, or less than that. He got in touch with me because he wanted to know what to do. Should he take up a job? Should he continue his college? Obviously, now he cannot apply for the college of his dreams. So, I guided him. Sad, it was really sad, but I mean, what can you do? Then the fourth example is, this is a Dubai-based one. You remember, I always tell you, that, if something is too good to be true, it's generally the case. Now, this guy was actually my client. He wanted a well-paying job, so obviously he got in touch with me. Resume rebrand, interview coaching, personal branding, did everything. My style is I teach you the skills. I don't just do it for you. I give you logical analysis. I make you understand your personality. It's quite a lengthy, drawn-out process. But I make sure that you are good enough to do it independently. You don't need me. So I taught him all these skills, and it took time. He was very dedicated, very ambitious. Finally, this guy, once you get your wings to fly, you move on. So he went on his own way. After quite some time, he got in touch with me, and now apparently he had lost his job. And it was during the COVID time. And I told him what happened about, the previous job. He said after that job, he got a much better job where he got a very senior level position. So I said, that's great, So what happened? This guy, what he did was, on his profile, you remember I told you that I taught him the skills of how to market sell. He overdid it. He exaggerated on his profile. If he had done 100, he put 200. If I told him to get a recommendation from somebody, he managed to get, and then he added some extra, spicy praise. He oversold himself. At the interview, when the guy told him, can you do 10? He said, no, I can do 100. Like I told you, that same quote. You have a plan until you get punched in the face. So when times are good, he was doing very well. And it was not only because of his effort. The market was good. But when the COVID, this thing hit, that is why your true skills are tested. And he didn't know how to handle such a big responsibility. And one by one, he started to make wrong decisions. So there's no company in the world that will tolerate one mistake after another, and lack of performance. And eventually, he lost. See, remember, bigger the salary, bigger the responsibility, and bigger the pressure. Now the problem is, he was here, I put him here, taught him the skills, and he jumped here. Sometimes, you need to go slow. Slow and steady wins the race. I guess you can't control everything. And last, if not the least, you remember, I always tell you that be true to yourself. If you're aggressive, don't create a timid CV. If you're a rebel, don't portray yourself in the interview as a guy who follows rules. So, this particular guy is a Muslim. Now, I'll tell you why I bring out the part he's a Muslim. He was very conservative. Very, very conservative, very simple guy. He's working for this consultancy. And, used to pay him a basic salary, whatever. Got into personal branding and this and that. And I guess, I told him, since you're a simple guy and you're religious, you continue that way. Continue with that portfolio, because in the end, you'll not feel comfortable if you portray what you're not. However, when times are good and when your name is known, and then you start marketing yourself, obviously you get job offers, right? He got an offer that was too good to be true. However, the company that he was working for was not typical of his personality. See, remember, the corporate culture matters a lot. If you're reserved and the company is open-minded, you're not like it too much. Let's say, for example, you are a hardcore religious person who doesn't interact with women, and all of a sudden you join this organization where all girls are dressed up young and hippie, and they go for parties and you'll feel uncomfortable. And same way, if you're modern, but you go for an organization that is hardcore conservative, you'll feel suffocated. I've encountered both these cases. But in his case, the reason why I remember this so well is, imagine he was a guy who had a long beard and white and used to dress up like a Muslim and talk like one. And when I spoke to him after he joined this company, just casual conversation, he had worn a amazing expensive suit. You could clearly make out it was an expensive suit. For a guy who always grew his beard, he had trimmed his beard. That shocked me the most. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, he looked good, but I was like, what do you, like, wow, you know? And where he used to wear simple glasses, he bought a designer glass, and he had a super expensive, like, gold watch. I think it was a Rolex or something. I don't know. He dressed up like... So I said, whoa, what happened, man? Have you hit the jackpot or what? So he said, no, Loy. And he had a slight bit of accent also. He joined this company and they paid him a big, massive hike in his salary. You would say now he has joined like a Western company with Western salary scales. Overhyped company. And he was like, yeah. And well, he sounded happy. So I was like, oh, good for you. But for me, I was not convinced because I didn't believe this is what he really was. Not that he is a bad guy, not that he was going with women. However, after I came down here to Thailand and all that, I managed to he sent me a message sometime. And I got, obviously very glad to meet an old friend and client. When I checked when we got in touch on Zoom, to my surprise, once again he had grown his beard, same old glasses. So I said, hey, what happened, man? You've gone back to the same old, Long story short, he joined the company and initially it was all fun and exciting because big money. But soon he realized he was getting suffocated because, people, the way they talk and the way they treat you and the environment and all that, it just seems it felt very suffocating. And eventually his religious upbringing was so strong that he felt conflicted with the values. In his case, he didn't get terminated. He resigned from the job. And obviously he did it out of an emotional decision. And then you can't remain in the Middle East if you don't have a job. So then he had to go back to India, and there was a massive struggle for almost 2 years, and finally now he's back on his feet and so see, the reason I give you all these examples is to tell you some of the realities that people don't think about, like that same quote which I said, no, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. You might think of starting a business or early investment into cryptos or investments, or you might start a new career and think, man, everything's so exciting, so fun. But the name of the game is longevity. Like I tell people, life it's like running a marathon race, not a sprint. So anyway, I just thought I'll share these 5 examples with you, and let me know what do you think. Which one stood out in your mind? Which one do you think really resonated with you, and which one you feel you learned something? Put your comments down below. And like I always say, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Let me know your thoughts. This is me signing off. You guys take care.